Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Partney Interaction Podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Par and Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up joebiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Partney Interaction Podcast. But here's what we're going to do. I'll just, we'll do a blind reading, but I'll skip over the shit that we already know. And then maybe that will make it somewhat manageable, I guess.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Doesn't sound good to me. It sounds like it's really long.
No. So like, if you two can carry the show while I'm sorting through the fucking shit that's not.
So what do you think, Carol, about fucking Rudy Giuliani admitting that he fucking lied?
Well, can we say that for the podcast too?
Oh, okay. Well, aren't we recording?
Ty, I feel like you. So here's what we do: like we chit chat and we get our vibe going.
I'm feeling sassy, saucy.
It's not that. I try to do this thing where there's like this clear delineation between us chit chatting and, shooting the shit. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to count us in. And then we do the thing. And that's when we're recording.
Okay.
But you have no context for that, do you? You're just like, oh, yeah, it's all the same shit. Which was what made the end of the last episode so fucking hilarious.
You had to bring that up.
Oh, man, it was so good. It was the best. You couldn't have done it better. You couldn't, because what happened was what made it really special. Okay, I'm probably gonna put this in like the pre-roll for the podcast. So what made the last episode really special is when we were recording. I was like, oh yeah, Ty, remember the thing where we did with O4 Tuna and you had no idea what the fuck was going on? That was hilarious. Ha 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 ha. And then we switch up the closing thoughts and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go last, Ty. All right, you bring us home. And then you shit all over Ron DeSantis and it was fucking incredible for like 5 straight minutes. And then you're like, as soon as you hit a down note, I'm like, all right, Ty, say the thing. You're like, what thing? Like, Ty, say the thing. The same thing we do every week, Ty. We like Pinky in the Brain. We trying to take over the world, except for on this podcast is, and that concludes, and you're like, and that concludes what? And Carol's like, and that concludes this episode of. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm cutting this shit off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, this is D Knight.
This is Carol.
This is Ty.
And you're listening to the Partney Interaction Podcast. And just when you thought you were going to get the indictment you've been waiting for years, Jack Smith was like, not like that.
It's like, but can I interest you in a superseding indictment?
Wait,
We haven't gotten the new indictments in yet, but
wait, did I say we're listening to the Partney Interaction Podcast? That's important. People need to know what fucking podcasts they're listening to. No, it's not important. Yeah.
And you're listening to the Part in the Insurrection Podcast, where we often talk about the insurrection.
But sometimes we don't. Sometimes
we don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Yeah, in case you missed it, Trump was...
We're a box of chocolates.
Re-indicted.
And not saying like for B and C, because we're chocolate in the box.
Oh, yeah. Well, your box is chocolate. I've got more like a candy cane situation going on there. Well, actually, it's more like a cannoli. It's chocolate.
My box.
It's chocolate on the outside and cream filled on the inside. All right, that got graphic. I'm sorry. I'm turning in. You might as well put me on Hunter Biden's website.
Saying that, I was listening to the road the other day.
No. Anyway, so yes, Trump got re-indicted in South Florida. He set the media up. Everyone was hanging around DC like, oh, Trump's going to get indicted on this January 6th shit because he got a target letter the other day Wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. He got indicted in South Florida again, though. More indictments on top of the previous set of indictments in the class. Yeah, we'll take it. No one's complaining here about Trump getting indicted again. I mean, just keep this up. Like, indict this motherfucker every month, and that'll be good enough for me. So what we're going to do, given this is an emergency podcast and we hadn't had a chance to check any notes, and I purposely made it a point not to read the indictment until I got a chance to record. So we're going to do a blind reaction to the Trump superseding indictment in South Florida. Yeah, woo! It's going to be an adventure, guys.
They added a third defendant.
Yes,
besides
they did.
Donald and the Waltine Saltine, Carlos de Lio Vera, or Carlos the Pool Boy.
Yeah, the Saltine Cracker guy, Waltine Nada, has a new co-defendant. That would be Carlos de Lio Vera, as Carol aptly pointed out. He is the individual. Well, he's basically the maintenance man, and he's also the guy who flooded the pool into the server room.
So not a good, very good pool boy, am I right?
Well, as far as pool boys go, he's not top of the list.
No, now that I think he's a pool boy, I want to know what he looks like. So, pardon me. Keep talking. Nothing.
Is he hot? Is he a hot pool boy? Or like, no?
When I search him, it just shows me a picture of Trump. I didn't want to see him.
No. Google fucking sucks. Like, they fucking, you put.
See, this is a different kind of pool boy than Jerry Falwell's pool boy. I'm totally expecting, I'm totally not suspecting this particular pool boy of laying the pipe down with Melania the way the other pool boy was doing. No. What's his name? Becky. He ain't getting that Becky from Melania the way the other pool boy was getting it from Becky Falwell.
Clean on the outside, cream on the inside.
Yeah, y'all should watch that documentary about the Falwells, by the way. That shit is incredible. Who produced that? Was that oh fuck. God Forbid is the name of it. I can't remember the fucking director. Even though the second Billy Corbin. That's my guy. Billy Corbin directed that shit. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I love Billy Corbin. That's my dude.
I would not have it.
Billy Corbin follows me on Twitter, by the way.
So, ooh.
I know I'm special.
I got a superseding indictment.
I don't want to brag or drop names or anything because it's not like that. But there are a number of people who follow me on Twitter who I'm
and this is the section we call D. This is the section of the show we call D does name dropping. Go.
No, I wasn't going to drop any more names. I was just going to say I just fangirl sometimes over this is the one thing I'm going to miss now that Elon's ruined the shit. But Twitter's fucking awesome. There's people I never dreamed of ever having a single conversation with on Twitter, and they follow me around and retweet my shit.
They follow you and they love you.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
And I hate you.
Thanks, Ty. See if I help you get your Threads account popping after this bullshit. All right, so blind reading of the Trump indictment. We're going to jump right in and try and navigate through this, at least as far as the new information goes, because I've yet to read this thing.
Yeah, United States of America versus Donald J. Trump, Waltine Nada, and Carlos de Oliveira. Yeah. Superseding indictment.
The grand jury charges that at times material to the superseding indictment on or about the dates and approximate time stated below.
Introduction. Defendant Donald Trump was 45th president of the United States of America, and he fucking sucked from 2017 to January 20th, 2021. Are we supposed to be reading this word for word?
Don't think we have to read
just as long and say a bunch of extra words.
So we're going to cherry pick the important parts, right? Mm-hmm. The classified documents Trump stored in the boxes that he withheld from prosecutors included information regarding defense and weapons capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries. United States nuclear programs and potential vulnerable. Like, this is incredible shit, first of all and foremost, because even though I read the previous indictment word for word out loud on this podcast and another episode, like, it's just always incredible to say it out loud what the fuck Trump was doing. He's like, no, this is presidential records. Why the fuck do you need United States national defense materials at your fucking villa?
But even the context right here, it's like he's putting them in, it's like a scrapbook for him.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
no,
like-
that's a great fucking analogy, Carol. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what the purpose of a scrapbook is, Carol? To show it to people. Who the fuck is he showing you this to? All right, that's that's beyond the scope of this.
Okay, classified.
Wait, it also talks about like Donald Trump ceased to be president on January 20th, 2021 at noon. So after, he intended to take these documents with him after he left office, once he no longer had a security clearance, down to Florida, to Mar-a-Lago. He fucked up. He's about to find out. So on 2 occasions in 2021, Trump showed classified documents to others as follows. In July 2021, at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, heretofore named as the Bedminster Club, during an audio recorded meeting with a writer, a publisher, and 2 members of his staff, none of whom possessed a security clearance, Trump showed and described a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official. Trump told the individuals that the plan was highly confidential and secret. Trump also said, as president, I could have classified it, and now I can't, but this is still a secret. And this is, of course, the infamous Trump recording that we've all heard of Trump waving the fucking papers around. Like, hey, see the classified shit?
Look at this highly classified thing. I know I didn't classify.
I'm important. Look at this shit.
Hey, I'm committing a crime right now. It'd be incredibly inconvenient if someone was recording this and handed this tape over to prosecutor. He was like, that fucking absurdly ridiculous of a recording.
Don't take my exact words out of context.
I did.
In August or September, this is the second incident of Trump showing classified documents to individuals with no security clearance. In August or September of 2021 at Bedminster, Trump showed a representative of his political action committee who did not possess a security clearance a classified map related to a military operation and told the representative that he should not be showing it to the representative and that the representative should not get too close.
Hey.
Those are his fucking exact words. It's like, I shouldn't be showing you this. Don't get too close to it.
Hello, I am establishing that I am doing something illegal again. I am fully aware of how I am doing it wrong, and I don't really intend to stop.
This is insane. That was September of 2021 at the latest. But on March 30th of 2022, the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the retention of these documents, and all this information in this indictment stems from that investigation, which seems to be continuing, even though Trump's been indicted not once, but twice here. So, according to this indictment, the FBI is alleging, well, I guess it's Jack Smith's special counsel's offices, suggesting that his attorneys falsely represented to the FBI and the grand jury that Trump didn't have the documents called for by the grand jury subpoena issued during the investigation. That he also directed defendant White and Nada to move boxes of documents to conceal them from Trump's attorney, the FBI, and the grand jury. They're suggesting that his attorney hid or destroyed documents called for by the grand jury subpoena. Also, that he provided the FBI and grand jury just some of the documents called for by the grand jury subpoena while claiming that he was cooperating fully. So he gave them some of the shit that they subpoenaed while withholding others, and causing a certification to be submitted to the FBI and grand jury, falsely representing that all documents called for by the grand jury subpoena had been produced, while knowing that in fact not all such documents had been produced. And last of all, attempting to delete this is fucking insane right here, attempting to delete security footage at the Mar-a-Lago Club to conceal information from the FBI and grand jury. Like, this is what I imagine Trump's excuse is going to be for this shit, right? Because clearly, if there's security footage of you doing the shit, you're supposedly innocent. Like, why would you want to delete that? You'd want to be like, here's what he's going to say. I was deleting the security footage because I didn't want everyone to see how innocent I am. That's what he's going to fucking say. It's coming out on Truth Social, I promise. You're going to see that shit tomorrow. This is going to be his explanation. As a result of Trump's retention of classified documents after his presidency and refusal to return them, hundreds of classified documents were not recovered by the United States government until 2022 as follows. Actually, we don't need to go into that. So the Trump's co-conspirators.
Skip right ahead.
Nada was a member of the United States Navy, stationed as a valet in the White House during the Trump's presidency. Beginning in August 2021, Nada became an executive assistant of Donald J. Trump and served as Trump's personal aide or, quote, body man. Nada reported to Trump, worked closely with Trump, and traveled with Trump. I feel like we know all of this information. But this is where we move on to the newest co-defendant, Carlos de... I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, enter Carlos, the pool boy, who was employed as the property manager at Mar-a-Lago Club prior to holding the position of priority manager. Those should have been stressed differently. Daily Vera was employed as a valet at the Mar-a-Lago Club.
I like to say valet, but you can pronounce it valet if you'd like.
For some reason, that's how I feel like it's pronounced when it's like a servant, and like valet is like just someone who drives the car.
Well, I did have a valet at the house, so
Don't nobody give a fuck about how you used to be ball and tie.
How I used to have money, and now
that's old shit. Why you bringing up old shit? We talking about today.
I used to be a baby. Had someone else wiping my butt.
Hey, Carol, when I was born, I was your color. That's how long ago that was. Yeah,
you gotta check those. You gotta check those fingernails.
Yeah, I thought I was they thought I was like a native or something. I was pasty. Yeah, hard to believe, but I kid you not. I'm sure I got a baby picture somewhere. I'll dig that up one of these years.
Are natives pasty when they're born? We're getting off track here.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just saying I was like your complexion, but I had
that's a black people thing.
The Carol. Dark straight hair with like the anyway. Fuck you, Carol.
What's a black whatever? Okay.
I do like it when you read though. I enjoy listening to your voice.
Mar-a-Lago Club.
I'm 100% certain that everyone listening to this podcast is like, when will D shut the fuck up? He's done 14 hours of solo podcasts in the last 3 weeks, and then when the girls are on, he won't shut his fucking mouth. Shut your meat hole, D. I'm going to. Carol, go.
I don't know how much background we need him on the Mar-a-Lago Club. Let's see. It's a club in Palm Beach.
None.
More than 25 guest rooms, ballroom, spa, store. Between January 2021 and August 22, the Mar-a-Lago Club hosted more than 150 social events, including weddings, movie premieres, and fundraisers that together drew tens of thousands of guests.
Yes, and also Mar-a-Lago had the security of my fucking refrigerator. Anyone can open up.
So they just briefly mentioned that the Secret Service was there, but not to protect the contents or anybody at Mar-a-Lago Club but Trump. So
we're not entirely
team commander.
And well, maybe the family, whatever.
We're not even entirely sure that the Secret Service knew the contents of the boxes were classified.
But that's not, it's like, they're just pointing out that that's not their job. So we don't expect the Secret Service to be getting involved there. It's okay. So of the classified information owned by, produced by, and for any and under the control of the United States government, pursuant to Executive Order 12958, signed on April 17th, 1995. This is probably not the part I needed to read. As amended. Okay.
When you asked how much background we needed and I said no, and you continue, this is what you got yourself into.
Yeah, I'm reading just executive order numbers. So this was classified as top secret, secret, or confidential. They give the classifications. No foreign stood for not releasable or to foreign nationals. Okay,
keep on skipping, Carol.
We've gone through these kinds of classifications. I'm doing it. I'm going to classified documents obtained after his presidency. So we've kind of been through all this. You know, we remember they talk about the ballrooms to establish the top secret levels of information were left lying about for tens of thousands of people to see them.
Mm-hmm. Then it goes on to the information agencies for which the documents were supposed to supposedly classified under. And
yes, and then we get to Trump's public statements on classified information as candidate for president of the United States. Trump made the following public statements, among others, about classified information.
All right, this is important. Continue.
On August 18th,
Ty, you're doing the boobs and the camera thing. Is this intentional, or are you trying to distract us? You trying to crash the podcast again, aren't you? Like you did last time.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Carol. Continue.
On August 18th, 2016, Trump stated, "In my administration, I'm going to enforce laws concerning the protection of
classified documents,
Hillary Clinton of classified information.
No one will be above the law.
So there's like 4 or 5 more statements like this where he indicates.
No, read them all. Read them. Yes, this is
just going to read them in my voice.
Absurd. Yeah,
okay.
you don't have to do a Trump
2016. We also need to fight this battle by collecting intelligence and then protecting our classified secrets. We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. Oh boy. On September 7th, 2016, Trump stated, "One of the first things we must do is enforce all classification rules and to enforce all laws relating to the handling of classified information." September 19th, 2016, Trump stated, "We also need the best protection of classified information." And on November 3rd, 2016, Trump stated, "Service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country."
This is incredible that Jack Smith is quoting Trump's exact words that he made in public statements about the classified documents case, because I absolutely guarantee you that when Trump is indicted for these January 6th charges that Jack Smith recently sent a target letter for, that he's going to quote Trump's public commentary in that indictment. Anyway, sorry, continue on. As president.
As president of the United States, on July 26, 2018, Trump issued the following statement about the classified information. "As the head of the executive branch and commander-in-chief, I have a unique constitutional responsibility to protect the nation's classified information, including by controlling access to it. More broadly, the issue of a former branch official security clearance raises larger questions about the practice of former officials maintaining access to our nation's most sensitive secrets long after their time in government has ended. Such access is particularly inappropriate when former officials have transitioned into highly partisan positions and seek to use real or perceived access to sensitive information to validate their political attacks."
He knew, Carol. He knew. Yep. And he let it happen.
"Any access granted to our nation's secrets should be in the furtherance of national,
does
not personal
know
interests."
From? No one knows what that quote is from, do they? Mark Ruffalo in the spotlight?
Oh, I thought you meant this. I'm like, it was Trump on July 26th,
they
2018.
Knew.
But, but
did you say, like,
there's no way he wrote this.
Did you look right now what I sent in the chat?
Girl, no. What the fuck did you? What?
On Twitter. Look.
What are you doing? Oh no.
That's his.
Well, they do look kind of well. One takes after father, and the other takes after mother. It's pretty and.
Carol, did you?
DNA is incredible.
Carol, did you see it?
Okay, well.
I totally forgot where we at, Carol. Where are we again? Ty, you be throwing us off. What you be doing over there?
We finished this.
Pull up this goddamn indictment so you can read.
All right, we're back to the indictment.
So
Trump's retention of classified documents after his presidency. Ty, would you like to read some?
We can skip past that part because
there's that photo of hundreds, well, probably like 50 boxes stacked up in the ballroom where there are public or semi-public events. As we
I think it's more than 50. Yeah, that's a lot. It's like 80 boxes. It's closer to 100 than it is 50. Yeah,
but it certainly doesn't look like it's in a secured area.
Yeah.
March 2021, Nada and others moved some of Trump's boxes. We've already been through. Moved them from the White and Gold Ballroom to the Business Center. And so just like, you get your free breakfast, probably not free at Mar-a-Lago. And you head over to the business center to check your emails. You take some classified documents to wipe your ass in the bathroom.
I'm just sitting here thinking about like hundreds of people dancing around the ballroom. There's just boxes with papers everywhere. I mean, if you look at this fucking photograph, which you can pull up anywhere on the Google, like the shit is just on the stage at the ballroom, and then like the dance floor or whatever is just open, and like I'm totally certain those boxes must have been there for months, because this was like he took the boxes in January. It was the middle of March when they took this photo, and that's 2 months where anybody could have just wandered in there and looked at the box.
Well, yeah, anyway. So it says the staff asked Trump employee 2 asked if the boxes could be moved out of the business center to make room for staff to use it as an office. And Trump employee 1 had asked that. My apologies. Trump employee 2 replied, "Whoa, okay, so POTUS specifically asked Walt for those boxes to be in the business center because they are his, quote, papers." Later that day, Trump employee 1 and Trump employee 2 exchanged the following text messages. "We can definitely make it work if we move his papers to the lake room. You want to be 1, D?"
Trump employee 1 said, "There is still a little room in the shower where his other stuff is."
Oh my God.
It's insane. It is only his papers he cares about, right? There's some other stuff in there that are not papers. Could that go to storage, or does he want everything in there on the property?
Yes. Anything that's not the beautiful mind paper boxes can definitely go to storage. Want to take a look at the space and start moving tomorrow, Am?
Yeah, the beautiful mind reference. That's the movie with the autistic guy who saw the pattern and the crazy shit that no one else could understand. And he, of course, was insane. There was no pattern. Yeah. So after that text exchange, find
11,000 votes in the boxes.
Trump's boxes were moved from the business center to a bathroom and shower in the Mar-a-Lago lake room. We saw that photograph. It's insane. I broke down everything wrong with that photograph on Twitter. The most insane of which is not even the pile of boxes in the bathroom around the shower and toilet, not even the pile of boxes behind the shower curtain stacked all the way up to the ceiling, in the tub, with the fact that, like, why is this toilet 2 feet tall? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Like, someone's dick is tiny. Like, my shit would just be in the water anyway. Yeah.
May 2021, Trump directed that the storage room on the ground floor of Mar-a-Lago Club, quote, the storage room, be cleaned out so that it could be used to store his boxes.
Yeah, the storage room with the FBI came down there. It was like, oh damn, these are the classified documents, huh? Lock this shit up. Could be reached from multiple outside entrances, including one accessible from the Mar-a-Lago Club pool patio through a doorway that was often kept open. Okay, so I think I imagine there's several more pages explaining how much there was and how readily accessible it was and how few security precautions there were. But we can scan through that real quick. And there's we don't have to do that, but there is this one picture when they move the shit from the bathroom to a different storage room. And there's like a photocopier right across from the 97 boxes of classified documents. Why are the fucking classified documents stored next to a photocopier? Sorry guys, I wasn't yelling at you. Carol, how do you feel? Do you see have you pulled up the picture with the classified documents? They're all stacked up against the wall on pallets next to the fucking photocopier, because that's insane. It's insane.
Well, I had a friend ask today, she's like, why wouldn't he have just like photocopied it and given it back?
He's fucking lazy, Carol. What are you talking about?
And he's dumb.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like yes. maybe if I take my own government files, they won't be able to prosecute me because they won't have the evidence of all my malfeasance.
Well, there was that one staffer who actually did copy some of the documents and have them digitized and stored on both a hard drive, a flash drive, and as well as a laptop. So yeah. Anyway, so we'll move on to July 2021.
2021?
Of 2021, Trump gave an interview at his office in Bedminster to a writer and publisher in connection with a thin forthcoming book, which we assume to be Mark Meadows' biography or whatever the fuck. No one who cares about Mark Meadows. Y'all remember when Mark Meadows was in Congress? He gave up his congressional seat to go to prison. Anyway, two members of Trump's staff also attended the interview, which was recorded with Trump's knowledge and consent. Before the interview, the media published reports that at the end of Trump's term as president, a senior military official, which we know to be Mark Milley, former general, current general. Wait, is he retired? It doesn't matter. Purportedly feared that Trump might order an attack on country A, which we know to be Iran, and that the senior military official advised Trump against doing so. Upon greeting the writer, publisher, and the two staff members, Trump stated, quote, "Look what I found. This was Mark Milley's plan of attack. Read it and just show it's interesting." Later in the interview, Trump engaged in the following exchange. I'll be Trump. I guess you can be the writer, Ty. Ty, do you have this shit up? No, you don't. Yeah. Carol, you do?
I don't.
Okay. Well, Carol, you could be the writer. Ty, you just laugh. You be our laugh track for this shit. Well, with the senior military, with Mark Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I want to attack Iran. Isn't that amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look, that was him. They presented me with this. This is off the record, but they presented me with this. It was him. This is the Department of Defense, and it was him.
Wow.
We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. Pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found. Isn't it amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it's like highly confidential.
Yeah.
Secret. This is secret information. Look at this. You attacking. By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just thinking. Well, we know Trump doesn't think because we were. Anyway, it goes on like this, and he's just using this classified document to shit all over Mark Milley, and then he's showing it to them, and he's telling them, "Oh yeah, it's a secret." And then he's like, "Yeah," and now the staff was like, "Yeah, well now we have a problem." And he's like, "Oh, isn't that interesting?" Yeah, this is insane. He's being charged for this, by the way. Like, apparently, he turned this specific document over that we didn't know that Jack Smith's team recovered to NARA. And that's how this ended up in this indictment. So Trump is being charged with disclosing this classified information to these fucktards.
Good.
Yeah, long story short there.
Except for the part where he disclosed our classified information.
Yeah, not good, Carol. Not good. It's not good at all. Nothing is good here.
All right, let's see. We'll keep going. This is the conversation.
They move on to there's one of his PAC staffers that he showed a different classified document to, which was a map of some country B where there was an ongoing U.S. military operation in. He's like, "Hey, bro, want to see this classified shit?" And dude was like, "Oh, okay." And here we are. Now Trump's being indicted for disclosure of classified documents to this fucking moron. Yeah, that was exciting.
Let's get another Trump quote. On February 16th, 2017, 4 years before Trump's disclosures of classified information set forth above, Trump said in a press conference, "The first thing I thought when I heard about this is, how does the press get this information that's classified? How do they get it? You know why? Because it's an illegal process and the press should be ashamed of themselves. But more importantly, the people that gave out the information to the press should be ashamed of themselves. Really ashamed."
Yeah, he's.
You have to be able to feel shame.
Somebody like give him a mirror or something like for that.
Yeah, there's also a number of text messages going back and forth between Nada and a couple of other dudes where they're like talking about how Trump wants to see pictures of the boxes of documents and know what shape they're in and where they're being stored and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot going on here. There's a couple of boxes that need some covers that are apparently missing. So who knows who was sorting through this shit? And it was like, dude, it's like, yeah, bro, can we get some new covers for these before we give them back to the government on Monday? This is insane. Just totally asinine shit. Yeah, let's see what else we got here.
Let's see. Trump's production of 15 cardboard boxes to the National Archive and Records Administration.
Yeah, I covered that. A lot of that in the previous.
Here's another big giant thing of boxes. Trump employee texted Trump. This is what you're talking about, huh? Already you were saying. Checking on the boxes. Great. Moving past. FBI interview, May 2022.
Oh, that's
so we already got this Nada stuff that he's falsely said he was not aware of the boxes being brought to Trump's residence for his review before Trump provided 15 boxes. He falsely stated that he didn't know how the boxes that he and Trump employed to brought from Trump's residence to the commercial truck for delivery to Nara on January 17, 2022 had gotten to the residence. And see, so when asked whether he knew where Trump's boxes had been stored before they went to Trump's residence and whether they had been secure and locked in that location, Nada falsely responded, I wish I could tell you. I just don't know.
It's okay.
I honestly just don't know.
I'm going to cut that shit out. And we're going to jump to this part here. So the attempt to delete security camera footage. This is some new shit, kids. The attempt to delete security camera footage. Carol, have you made it that far? Todd, you could also pull up this fucking indictment if you wanted to.
The false certification to the FBI. Okay, so no, that's
all right. The attempt to delete security camera footage. Todd, pay attention. This is important. And Todd, you were
not paying attention.
Basically analogous to the audience.
Sorry.
At this point.
I'm sorry.
On June 3rd, Oh, well, do whatever you want to. I mean, it's not that important. Like, you can read this later if you want to. There's nothing important about the former president of the United States getting indicted by a special counsel. I mean, it's only happened once before, and it was the same president and same special counsel. So it's not even really. It's even the same fucking case. So it's really not even that much. Of a big deal. It's not even
Carol is falling asleep. We need to wrap this up.
So was Ty.
Are you?
Yeah, I think Ty is sleepy.
The attempt to Ty.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm actually not. Like, I have been so when you're so wired, like.
Oh yeah, when you finally sit down and like take a second to take a breath, you crash.
And then when you can't even sleep because you're like, damn, everything is like going, and then you going.
You have our permission to totally crash in the middle of this if you would like to. It's absolutely fine. We understand you have a lot going on. You freshly moved. I'm sure that was fucking exhausting. I don't even know if you moved everything.
Oh shit. I did. I took pictures today to send, like, for me to get, my check or whatever, like, of every room and everything. And I'm like, holy shit, we moved all of this in like 3 goddamn days. It was insane.
An endeavor. Yeah, for sure.
It was absolutely insane.
Wait, I don't know where I am anymore. I lost my page. Carol, what page does that shit start on again? I found it. Never mind.
27.
But yeah, anyway, Ty, you had a lot going on. So if you want to take a nap or zone out or go cook some chicken again, you feel free.
Actually, I am going to fry a couple pieces of
Yeah, you're in Greg Abbott's Texas now. So
and you've lost as many forks as inches your son has grown in the last year.
Fucking fork, Carol, like, made Jeremy breakfast, like fucking some pancakes, and it's like, you gotta eat this with a spoon because we don't have any forks.
Carol, Ty, rather just go ahead and destroy the environment and buy some fucking plastic forks. We don't give a fuck. It's all over. Like, the water in Florida is boiling. Like, no wonder the orcas are fucking mad.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, you see how high we are? Ty, you know how it is. You didn't have AC for like 6 months.
we got otters stealing fucking surfboards. And
Okay, back to the important shit here. The attempt to delete security camera footage. This is the newest new information in the superseding indictment that was previously unavailable. So on June 3rd of 2022, after FBI agents were at the Mar-a-Lago Club to get the documents back from Trump with the classified markings, Trump Attorney 1 and Trump Attorney 3, which we assume to be Evan Corcoran and is that Alina Habba, the agents observed that there were surveillance cameras located near the storage room. Of course they did. On June 22nd, a couple weeks later, well, I guess that's 3 weeks later, the Department of Justice emailed an attorney for Trump's business organization a draft grand jury subpoena requiring the production of certain security camera footage for the Mar-a-Lago Club, including the footage from the cameras on the ground floor near the basement where the storage room was located. So DOJ was like, damn, that's crazy. There's the fucking classified documents in that room right there. And then there's a fucking security camera aimed right at it. Okay, I got an idea. Let us fucking subpoena the security camera footage. And this was on June 22nd. On June 23rd.
So June 23rd. Yeah, go on, babe.
Yeah, the very next day, 8:46 p.m. Thanks, Carol. Trump called De Lio Vera, and they spoke for approximately 24 minutes. On Friday, June 24th, the day after that, the Department of Justice emailed the attorney for Trump's business organization the final grand jury subpoena, which required the production of any and all surveillance records, videos, images, photographs, and or CCTV from internal cameras at certain locations at Mar-a-Lago, including the ground floor where the basement is, from January 10th of 2022 to June 24th. So that would be, 5.5 months there of security footage that they subpoenaed. So after getting the draft indictment, Trump talked to De Lio Vera and they talked for 24 minutes. And then the next day, they got the official subpoena and they're like, give us all your security camera footage, how? And then that same day, 1:25 in the afternoon, Trump's attorney 1 spoke with Trump by phone regarding the subpoena for the security camera footage. 2 hours later at 3:44 p.m., Nada received a text message from a coworker, Trump employee 3, indicating that Trump wanted to see Nada. Less than 2 hours later, Nada, who was scheduled to travel with Trump to Illinois the next day, changed his travel schedule and began making arrangements to go to Palm Beach, Florida instead. What the fuck? Nada provided inconsistent explanations to colleagues for sudden travel to Florida. At 7:14 p.m. on June 24th, he texted one person that he would not be traveling with Trump the next day because he had a family emergency, which was in Florida for some reason at Trump's property, and used shushing emojis at 9:48 p.m. That night, he texted a Secret Service agent that he had to check on a family member in Florida. And after he arrived in Florida on June 25th, he texted that same Secret Service agent that he was in Florida working. So a family emergency where you had to work. All right. Around the same time, super sus. Around the same time, on June 24th, that Nada was making his travel plans to go to Florida. Nada and De Lio Vera contacted Trump employee 4, who was the director of information technology, the IT guy, at the Mar-a-Lago Club. And the texts are as follows. At 5:02, Nada sent text messages to Trump employee 4 asking, hey, bro, you around this weekend? At 5:05, 3 minutes later, Nada texted De Lio Vera asking, hey, brother, you working today? De Lio Vera responded, yes, I just left. Nada then called De Lio Vera and they spoke for approximately 2 minutes. At 5:09, Trump employee 4 texted a response to Nada, I am local, entertaining some family that came to visit. What up, yo? Nada responded to Trump employee 4, okay, cool, no biggie, just wanted to see if you were hanging around. Enjoy, bro. Hour later, 6:56 p.m., De Lio Vera texted Trump employee 4 saying, hey, buddy, how are you? Walter called me earlier today and Walter called me earlier and said he was trying to get in touch with you. I guess he's coming down tomorrow. I guess he needs you for something. Trump employee 4 responded, he reached out, but he didn't say what he wanted. I told him I was local, but entertaining some family that came from New York this weekend. He told me, no worries, homie. At 6:58.
We are corroborating our story via text.
Yes, thank you for that explanation, Carol. Very, very much warranted. At 6:58 p.m., Trump employee 4 texted out and said, bro, if you need me, I can get away for a few. Just let me know. And I responded, sounds good. Thanks. On Saturday, June 25th, Nada traveled from Bedminster, New Jersey to Palm Beach, Florida. Prior to Nada's trip, Daily Vera told the valet at the Mar-a-Lago Club that Nada was coming down, and Daily Vera asked Trump employee 5 to tell, or rather not to tell anyone that Nada was coming down because Nada wanted the trip to remain secret. Well, they didn't do a good job because they were texting about it back and forth nonstop. Daily Vera also told Trump employee 5 that Nada wanted Daily Vera to talk to Trump employee 4 to see how long camera footage was stored. That's very interesting. After receiving a subpoena from the Department of Justice for all the fucking security camera footage. Shortly after arriving in Palm Beach on June 25th, Nada went to the Mar-a-Lago Club and met Daily Vera at 5:46 p.m. And Nada and Daily Vera went to the security guard booth where the surveillance video is displayed on monitors, walked with a flashlight through the tunnel where the storage room was located, and observed and pointed out surveillance cameras. So they're walking around the property, pointing at the surveillance cameras right after DOJ just subpoenaed the fucking footage. You guys are...
Nada is gangster as fuck. Like, he is seriously gangster as fuck. Like, he is ride or die. I gotta give him props for that.
That's insane. Yes, like, the fact that he's not cooperating is wild.
Yeah, like, I gotta give him props for that. Like, he is standing his ground with...
That's bananas.
Yeah. It is, but you know, I give props. I give respect to...
We got more though. On Monday, the 27th of June, early in the morning, Daily Vera walked to the IT office where Trump employee 4 was working with another employee in the IT department, and Daily Vera requested the Trump employee 4 step away from the office so that he could talk. Well, he and Trump employee 4 could talk. So, bro, take a hike. Me and homie right here. We got some shit to talk about. We gotta handle some shit real quick. A couple minutes later, Trump employee 4 and Daily Vera left the area of the IT office together and walked through a basement tunnel. Daily Vera took Trump employee 4 to a small room known as an audio closet in the White and Gold Ballroom. Once inside the audio closet, Daily Vera and Trump employee 4 had the following exchange. Daily Vera told Trump employee 4 their conversation should remain between the two of them. He then asked Trump employee 4 how many days the server footage remained, or how many days they retained the server footage, and Trump employee 4 responded that he believed it was around 45 days. So that's about a month and a half. Daily Vera told Trump employee 4 that the boss wanted the server to leave it. It's, oh my God. I'm sorry. That's pretty fucking bold right there, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, they were pretty fucking old.
I just want to point out that it's highly ironic that Daily Vera is getting indicted for being in the closet when Republicans spend all this time trying to torture people and ruin their lives for coming out of the closet. Yeah, so he's like, yo, bro, boss wants this shit deleted. Trump employee 4 responded that he would not know how to do that and that he did not believe that he would have the right to do that. Trump employee 4 told Daily Vera that Daily Vera would have to reach out to another employee who was a supervisor of security for Trump's business organization, which I believe that individual has been subpoenaed. Daily Vera then insisted that Trump employee 4 that the boss wanted the server deleted and asked, what are we going to do? At 10:14 in the morning, Daily Vera and Nada, who was still in Florida, said, hey, buddy, are you working today? And Daily Vera then called Nada, and they spoke for approximately a minute. Later that afternoon, both of them motherfuckers was like, hey, I'm on my way. Between 1:31 and 1:50, Daily Vera walked through the bushes. Why are you going through the bushes, dog? That seems super suspicious. At the northern edge of the property to meet with Nada on an adjacent property. So they're like, what is this? Some like Ethan Hunt shit? What are we doing? This is Mission Impossible security footage? Anyway. So they meet him at another property and then they walk back to the IT office that he had visited that morning, then walked again through the bushes on the northern edge of the property to meet with Nada on an adjacent property. At 3:55 in the afternoon, Trump called Daily Vera and they spoke for approximately 3.5 minutes. And then we move on to the search warrant. In July of 2022, the grand jury obtained the surveillance footage from Mar-a-Lago showing the movement of the boxes set forth above, which we talked about. This is insane. I mean, it just...
I gotta go switch my laundry. I'm taking you with me in the head, and I will still be.
You're taking me with you in your head.
No, I can hear you. I brought my headphones, have a microphone.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Carol wants to go and get
No, she's doing her laundry, Ty. She got to be sexy tomorrow.
No, it's like it is another fucking field trip, and I just had one yesterday, and they have a special field trip shirt they have to wear on field trip. So I'm watching it. Go on.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I was looking for like more thorough information about the surveillance footage that they tried to delete. So yeah, man, this is fucking crazy shit. Like, most importantly, here we got Trump ordering Nada and Daily Vera around trying to get this security camera footage deleted. And they like, fuck, I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna try it. And they did, and now they got indicted. And Trump's getting indicted for orchestrating the entire scheme. It's fucking insane.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, fuck around, find out, kids.
He didn't know he had the right.
What happened, Carol? You're breaking up. You sound like
Sorry.
You sound like you on an iPhone 2 from like 2003. You on 2G right now.
Well, I have an iPhone 11. It's like way past what.
Yes, you've upgraded. Yeah.
That's what I could afford. But yes.
Yeah, this is fucking crazy. I mean, I just don't understand like whose idea this fucking was to try. Like, this is dumb. Like, if you're gonna argue to the grand jury and the Jack Smith team that, hey, I'm totally innocent and these boxes are mine and the classified documents or presidential records, then maybe don't try to delete the security camera footage. I don't even think the indictment includes the information where Daily Vera had the pool flood into the room where the servers were for the security camera footage. But this is that same guy who did that crazy shit. It's very not smart. And that's why we have a new criminal code to defend it. Ty, so given what we've talked about in this fucking indictment here, do you suspect that Daily Vera is cooperating? Because I can't understand, or is going to cooperate. Because clearly Nada has made his decision to stick with Trump. And is this an attempt by Jack Smith possibly to introduce a potential cooperator to get Nada to flip against Trump? Like, say,
what were we saying?
So Jack Smith's looking like, all right, we need Nada to cooperate, but he ain't going. All right, we got another conspirator. We'll go after him. We'll hit him with charges and see if he changes his tune. And then, like, say Daily Vera's like, I don't want to go to prison forever. I'm a flip. Well, where does that leave Nada and Trump, right? Well, we know Trump's not going to flip, but maybe they can get Nada to cooperate.
I think the new guy, the Carlos guy, I think that he is going to flip because he has whatever Nada is fucking like all the way in with Trump. But
yeah. Well, he's been in with Trump for years, right? He was this dude in the White House from day one.
Yeah.
He on some Drake shit, no new friends.
Yeah, exactly. But this Carlos dude, like, he doesn't have any allegiance to anybody. He has no, like, protection from Trump or anybody else. He's going to squeal like a goddamn pig. He is going to cooperate with everybody. And it's the people that you don't think about, the people that you dismiss, that know everything about what's going on.
The Cassidy Hutchinsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who aren't necessarily high ranking, but they were there for everything and saw and heard shit.
They were there for everything. And they were there in every, possible whatever. But yeah, I think this Carlos guy, him being added to the indictment, I think that's important. I think that's big.
Yeah, one of the things that's not coming across totally clear in the indictment is like, so they know Daily Vera had these conversations with like the IT dude. Man, he's incredibly tall now. What the fuck happened in like 2 months? You can dunk now. You're like 7'4".
I drink all the forks to turn to and lengthen his bones.
Yeah, air conditioning is bad for your height, I guess. I don't know. Otherwise, he'd be 5'3" instead of. Anyway, yeah. So one of the things that doesn't come across very clearly in the indictment is how the fuck does DOJ know what the fuck this dude Daily Vera was talking about with the IT guy in the fucking closet, like R. Kelly? It's some crazy shit.
Yeah, where are they getting? Yeah, so I was wondering the same thing. Were there security cameras in the closet?
Yeah, the way it sounds, it feels like there is that, or like the IT guy has already spilled the beans to Jack Smith's team. I don't know what the circumstances.
Maybe do you think they left out that context on purpose to get them wondering about it and getting paranoid?
Yeah, they absolutely.
I mean, because I'm not a co-conspirator, and I'm a little paranoid about it now.
I absolutely assure you that this particular letter, there were multiple drafts of the superseding indictment, and they're like, how much do we want to give away and how much do we want to keep close to the vest? And let's let them wonder about some shit the same way we're wondering, like, well, damn, how did DOJ and Jack Smith get this particular information, like this granular level of specific information about conversations between Daily Vera and Trump and the IT guy and Nada?
It's like, and then they left to get some privacy and they went into their private shed. Here's what happened in the private shed.
It's wild. Yeah, it's bananas. But yeah, of course, look, once we get some more details, we'll cover this on the next episode of the podcast for sure. But we just wanted to kind of take a sneak peek into what the fuck is going on now that Trump is being re-indicted, and it feels so good.
Trump employee number 4, you're sneaky.
We also had a number of other developments over the course of the last couple of days, not related to this particular superseding indictment about the classified documents, but more pertaining to the January 6th investigation. Namely, being that Rudy Giuliani is attempting to come to some kind of settlement agreement with his defamation suit by Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. You know,
no. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, the election workers from Georgia that he basically slandered. Because
she was daintily walking away with this bag of beef jerky. It's terrible, and I don't want it, but I don't want her to eat it.
Yeah, so there had to be some kind of scapegoat for Trump to claim the 2020 election was stolen, and Rudy Giuliani was like, "Hey, you got any video of some black people?" And boom, there goes Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss.
That shit pisses. I can't even that shit still pisses me off.
It does
so much because he ruined the lives of 2 innocent women who were just doing their fucking duty. And what?
Yeah, and then he made some allegations of them passing around, I don't know, flash drives like crack rocks or some crazy shit. This fucking bastard. But one of the takeaways from this, so basically, what he's done is he's agreed to end discovery and basically concede that he was lying about the 2020 election being stolen and the fact that he was using them as a scapegoat. He's basically saying he agrees to be held liable for damages in the civil suit for defaming them. But while this resolves his civil case, under the guise of what he says is lowering his legal bills. if you take this in conjunction with Bernie Kerik, who's also involved in the post 2020 election, as far as Trump's team investigating what they thought would be evidence of voter fraud, which turned out to not exist. Kerik turned over a trove of documents to Jack Smith's team recently as well. And these documents are likely to prove that the entirety of Trump's team knew there was no there, that he actually lost the 2020 election and there wasn't any fraud. And that is in combination with Giuliani having a proffer session with Jack Smith's team a few weeks ago, along with the fact that Giuliani says, and look, agreed, we have to take this with a grain of salt, that he hasn't received a target letter. What this sounds like is Giuliani cleaning up his civil liabilities in court so that he can become a cooperating witness for Jack Smith's team. That's just my personal opinion, right?
It's just funny that he thinks he has like any credibility.
Okay, well, if you think about what Giuliani has to offer, is maybe not credibility in terms of testifying before a jury in a trial, right? But a few of the things that he can do is point to where the bodies are buried.
Thanks, Giuliani. I'm doing my spelling bee, and I got loon.
You on New York Times spelling bee. All right, yeah. So here's another way Giuliani could come in helpful, right? Know how we were just talking about, like, well, damn, how do they know what the fuck? Where'd you go, Ty? Daily Vera and Nada were talking about in that fucking closet, and we're like, damn, I wonder where they got that information from. Giuliani's a cooperating witness. He can point Jack Smith's team toward particular instances.
Right. Sorry, I was just looking confused because Ty disappeared.
Yeah, Ty went
off the call. She dropped off the call.
Yeah, Ty went poof, like black girl's hair does in the summertime when it's humid. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Carol's like, I'm white. I can't laugh at that. Carol, you're Jewish.
I was just thinking
y'all have curly hair too.
Everyone's hair gets frizzy in the summer, but
I seen some Jew froze in my time. It's okay. You can laugh at it. It's fine. It's totally understandable. It's acceptable. No one's going to cancel you. Anyway, yeah, so Giuliani could be particularly useful in one, pointing Jack Smith's team to where the dead bodies are buried. Two, adding context to conversations, messages, emails, and whatnot, that Jack Smith's team might not be able to do on their own. Three, welcome black, Ty. Another thing Giuliani could be useful for is getting other individuals to cooperate.
Hey, I'm sorry, my computer died, so
it's okay. This shit happens to the best of us. Welcome black. We were just talking about. I was telling Carol that you went poof like black girl's hair does in the summer. And she was too embarrassed to laugh at that because she was like, "Oh damn, I'm white. Do I laugh?" And I was like, "No, Carol, you Jewish. It's okay."
No, it was more like, I do not relate to that joke. And Ty's hair looked nice today, so I didn't.
Did it? Thank you.
Yeah, he was looking quite.
It didn't look like it
lovely.
Poof, so I didn't have a real frame of reference for that joke.
I brushed it out.
Well, what Giuliani can also do is point Jack Smith's team to crimes committed by other individuals and create another source of potential cooperating witnesses for Jack Smith's team. Again, there's probably documents Giuliani didn't produce in his civil suit that he could turn over to Jack Smith that might be valuable. I mean, look, Giuliani, while he's an idiot, can also be useful. Except, like, this is it's not like the Russian equivalent of useful idiot. This is like a literal useful idiot. He's like actually useful, even though he's an idiot, in spite of him being an idiot. Yeah, so that was a lot going on there.
And he just thinks he has like the acumen of I don't know, like maybe himself in his heyday, but if he was ever a competent attorney.
Yeah, that was like 40 years ago.
But he still has the same confidence.
Oh yes, you're absolutely right. This is like when like dudes who were slinging dick in their 30s and then they're like 73 and like they can't even get it up anymore, but they can pop a little blue pill. No, I'm just making fun of you, Tom. Sorry.
I can get it up just fine.
That was
for whoever.
That was such a specific inside joke. I don't think anyone listening to this knows what the fuck it is I'm talking about. Anyway, so
even me.
Carol, you were here. You were here before we started recording it. Yeah, so there's also an incident of former GOP gubernatorial candidate named Ryan Kelly, who's recently pled guilty to his crimes involving January 6th. Wasn't accused of any violence, but he apparently rushed past police, stormed the Capitol, and was doing some crazy shit on the inside, climbing over shit, doing
a governor,
weird.
You said
gubernatorial candidate. English is so difficult at like 11:30 at night. He was running against Gretchen Whitmer.
Got it.
Yeah, out in Michigan.
I'm sorry. I'm just grabbing my chicken because I'm about to fry some fucking chicken.
Her sister is running for Congress in my district.
I wish she really.
Is she?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were telling us that, I think. Yeah, so he's pled guilty. That was an interesting development, like given that the fake electors from Michigan recently were recently charged in Michigan for their role in the fake elector plot. Just a little something to chew on. Also, Chris Krebs, the former head of CISA, the National Cybersecurity Agency, the guy who was like, "Oh, this was the most secure election ever in the history." He apparently recently spoke with Jack Smith's team.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Also, Donahue, former acting deputy attorney general in the period after Bill Barr resigned, he's spoken with Jack Smith's team. So there's a lot of developments going on in that area, despite the fact that we didn't get indictments today. But I imagine, given that Trump's team talked
an indictment today, I mean, they threw us a bone.
We didn't get J6 indictments today, but yeah, like I said on Twitter, Jack Smith saw everybody was hungry for indictments and threw us a snack. But yeah, so indictments for that are coming soon. We get to pop the champagne, or at least pop a bottle of, I don't know, maybe you don't break out the sparkly shit for this. Maybe this is more of
we can't use a bottle of champagne every time Trump gets indicted for a federal crime.
Yeah, we'd be out of champagne. Yeah, maybe open up a nice bottle of Cab or something, or a Malbec, or something kind of rich and flavorful. Not so many bubbles. Today's a chill day. Get you a rack of lamb, something to go along with that. Yeah, fun times. It's exciting as always to see a presidential candidate rack up as many criminal counts as he did electoral college votes. But yeah, just also in Georgia. Also in Georgia, it appears that Finding Willis is clearing the way for indictments to come. They shutting down the fucking courthouse around there, putting barriers up. Looks wild. Maybe she's trying to beat Jack Smith to the punch. I don't know. But I expect next week to be fucking crazy, even crazier than this week. So it should be exciting times here on the Partney Interaction Podcast. Make sure you tell all your friends and family, and even the motherfuckers that you don't like, even if they voted for Trump, to tune into the podcast so they can hate listen.
Yes.
All right. So if we don't make it a full week between episodes, do we still have a shithole of the week? I mean, the last episode was only 2 days ago.
Well, yeah. So we just recently had a shithole of the week award. So I think we'll forego a shithole of the week this week. Although,
why?
If Elon was eligible, he would get it for multiple reasons.
We can do a shithole of the day.
A shithole of the day award.
And since it's a new award, it can go to Elon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't I don't know how much of a shithole he was today, but over the course of the last 24 hours.
He stole the fucking X and literally.
Wait, Ty, they need more context. Stole the X from who? There's an individual on Twitter whose screen name was X.
So, yeah. And he locked him out of his account and stole his fucking idea.
Yeah, stole his.
If that's not a shithole, I don't know what it is.
Stole his what?
Okay, so let's rewind.
Did they
Twitter,
take his handle?
Okay. So,
Twitter has been.
Carol,
No, I got it. Hold on a second, because we need more context. Twitter's been rebranded to X, even though apparently it's being rebranded back to Twitter because he doesn't own the copyright to the letter X. But there's an individual on Twitter who had the handle at X. Okay, so Elon was like, fuck that guy. I want the X. Fuck, take his fucking account from him, locked him out of his account, stole his X, and then gave him a new handle, which was like X1234578823674. Some weird, crazy shit like that. Well, that guy's actually not a jackass, so he was like, cool, it's whatever. But it's still fucked up to steal your boy's handle like that. I feel like if you stole his handle X, then he should get the handle Twitter. Like it's an even trade. Beyond that, there's also this individual, I forgot what his name. He's some fucking loser. He actually supposedly lives in my town. I don't know. He's also a black guy, but he's like one of them blacks for Trump, right? For every, 12 million black guys there are in America, there's one black guy who's like, I love Trump. This is one of those. Well, he apparently posted some child sexual exploitation materials on Twitter last night and had his account suspended.
Dom.
Yeah, Dom Loser, whatever his name is. Yes, Dom Loser. So he had his account suspended over that matter, but Elon decided to personally intervene to make sure that his account was restored, but they just deleted the images. What? I thought these were supposed to be like the anti-pedophile, like save the children guys. And now Elon's like, oh, well, posting child porn gets you a couple hours suspension on Twitter. What the fuck?
He just like that motherfucker because he's black and he goes on the right wing. Because they always want to put those people on the pedestal and say, oh, this black guy, yada, yada, whatever.
You don't have to explain it, Ty. It's called a token. Everyone knows what that means. And beyond that, Elon also is basically trying to blackmail brands and advertising on Twitter. He's like, if y'all don't spend y'all money on this shit, I'm going to take y'all Twitter's handle and give it to some random fuckers and they're going to destroy y'all's company on Twitter with some bullshit, which has already happened with the fucking previous checkmark verification scandal. He's like, that was an accident. Watch what happens when we do it on purpose. So you better spend your money over here. So yes, Elon Musk, since this is a new award, you are hereby eligible, and I award you the shithole of the day award.
Yeah, it must be. I can't imagine what it would be like to only be able to garner negative attention. Like he could have put all these efforts into doing something good and make people like him that way. Instead, he just went for like trying to just fuck everyone up to show them why didn't you like me? You should have liked me. I'm such a nice guy.
Yeah, right wingers, Carol, they suffer from tiny dick syndrome and they try to overcompensate and it always blows up in their faces. But anyway, we're going to forgo closing thoughts this evening because again, this is like hour number 4 of the podcast this week.
All right, kiddos, and audience member friends and such.
It's late. Ty sleepy. Carol sleepy. I drank some tea, so I'm oddly not entirely totally ready to pass out, even though it's almost midnight here, and I've worked all day, and I've been thinking about this crazy shit. But yeah, so make sure you make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you share it with a couple of other individuals. On top of this episode, we got more January 6th report coming if you've yet to read that. So stay tuned. I I mean, I imagine with this indictment coming, you're probably going to get a full audio version of that with the January 6th indictment in DC that Trump received a target letter for. So stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, we got a lot going on. The shit is nonstop crazy around here. But we're going to cover it all.
I'm frying chicken.
You can stick with us. Catch all the fucking news and developments here on Partney Interaction. You can also get you a fucking delicious piece of fried chicken that Ty's cooking up.
Listen to it fry.
And yeah, you can listen to it fry. Turn that grease up, drop that chicken in there, and hear the psst. And that concludes this episode of Partney Interaction.